Anthropic CEO comes out and says this, okay? Says humanity needs to wake up to dangers of AI. And I think what he's specifically talking about, Tom, is super AI, which I'm coming to you on this one. But Rob, I think you got a clip on this. Humanity needs to wake up to the potentially catastrophic risks posed by powerful AI systems in the years to come. Is this him, Rob?
Yes, sir.
And by the way, just so the audience knows, Anthropic is, how do you explain Anthropic, Tom? It's a $350 billion company. They just 2x'd in valuation in a few months. Everybody wanted to get in on Anthropic. It's the next big thing that people are looking at. Here's what their CEO had to say. Go ahead.
I think if we wait 3 years, like this technology is progressing exponentially, right? 3 years ago in 2023, the models were maybe as smart as like a smart high school student. Now we have engineers at Anthropic where the model writes all the code for them, and the engineer maybe edits it, but we're very close to, mid to high professional level, right? And so that was just in 3 years. If we wait another 3 years, I think we'll get what I call in the essay a country of geniuses in a data center, maybe less than 3 years. And so, 3 years is an eternity in this field. And so I think we absolutely need to act before then. One place where I really have hope is I think as these problems start to manifest, again, they're not going to be partisan, right? Like, it may start with, one party or one side having an anti-regulatory ideology. But I think as these problems become real, there's going to be a demand among everyone.
And in the note, you outline the different risks, whether it's bioterror or whether it's authoritarian regimes with too many tools to do subversive behavior. How worried are you? I mean, you're obviously worried enough to state it and you're worried enough to raise it, but in your mind, how likely is that outcome, particularly if we don't do anything for the next 3 years? Is it like a 1% or no, if you don't do anything for 3 years, we could be screwed?
Yeah, it's always hard to tell. One of the things I say in the essay is we just don't know, right? We could look back and we could say, AI driven bioterror, that was, that sounded like it could happen at the time, but it just didn't happen at all. And it's very unpredictable. The way I would say it.
Tom, where are you at with this?
So 2023, 2024 for AI, those were the years of the chip. NVIDIA comes out of nowhere. Everybody asking each other, do you own NVIDIA? Oh my gosh. And then the rest of us looking at it and saying, why is NVIDIA coming out of nowhere? So the number of chips is out there. Then last year, the AI agent showed up, as well as the collective realism that the data centers that are planned today are going to take 12% of the power in the US. And it says, wait a minute. 12% of the power? That means there must be a hell of a lot of processing and a hell of a lot of data centers. That's correct. That's absolutely correct. And now we're getting, Pat, to the age of the AI agents. Well, the AI agent is basically AI that can do something for you. Automatically answering emails is a simple one that's available to everybody right now using Microsoft Pilot. Certain emails, certain rules, it'll automatically respond for you with a simple answer or find an open place on your calendar. That's an AI agent. What he's talking about is the advance in the computational power and the library, also known as a LLM, large language model, that it has to use, that you could have a bad actor learns how to build a nuclear bomb much quicker, or learns how to deploy a biotech poison much quicker. And that what's happening is that now the agents and the collective intelligence behind the agent is sort of now the fourth wave. Chip, data center, agents, and now collective processing power and super AI powering used for bad. Okay. You can look back in history and saying, oh my gosh, the folks that invented the nuclear weapon, we need to regulate and control this. We need to figure this out. We're about to go to what will be the next wave, which is levels of control through oversight. So if you think that Google listening on your device or your Alexa device to sell you ads is spooky, the back end of AI is going to know who's looking for what. And the government is going to, by default, have to be snooping on that to see who's using AI to find out what is the best stream in America to put a viral poison in to kill the most number of people based on snowpack runoff, melting, and the speed of the stream. People are going to be asking those questions. Where's the best place for a suicide bomber to kill the maximum number of people in New York City on Black Friday? Oh, well, it'll look at traffic. So the government's going to have to see this, and that's what he's talking about. Now we get to the super AI and the ability of bad people to do really bad things and to be enabled by it. Now you've got the government's going to have to be there on the back, which I'm not endorsing, but I'm saying that is what he at Anthropic, which is building these models and knows what they're talking about in terms of the power of them. Sorry for the long answer, but I wanted to take people through what they've been hearing in the last 4 years.
Brandon.
Yeah, say 6 years ago, could you have imagined what ChatGPT does right now? Like even the concept of it. No, like we all knew about AI, we knew about technology advancement, but just like the sheer abilities of what ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini could do. Never thought that could happen. So yeah, like the craziest thing about it is like the speed of technology, how it goes up at an exponential rate. So don't know what the hell is going to be around the corner. Don't know if we're going to even going to have control over it. Which that's the weird part, is that it gets to the point where the thing starts communicating with each other. Like if you've heard a bunch of stories where the Google or Amazon had to like shut it down because they started talking to each other. So I don't know, just what happens when AI starts talking to each other and deems people inefficient or starts trying to have a mind or a philosophy of its own. I don't know how far away we are from that, but that's the creepy part to me.
Brett.
Well, all technology kind of starts out clumsy, right? So I think it'll get better, but when the people that make it are warning you, I think you should be listening to what they're saying. I just can't understand why. What's the danger? So I'm going to go read that, because what would be the danger? Like, why do they think, what are they going to, AI going to become to where we're the problem, we're the virus, so it eliminates us? Like, what's
Terminator?
What's the possibility of AI becoming so super intelligent? In my mind, I'm thinking, well, that just makes life easier. What is it going to do? Why is it dangerous?
Yeah, let me tell you where I'm at with that. If, let's just say, go to the horror that they're selling. Jobs are all going to be replaced. People are not going to have jobs. They're not going to have income. They're not going to be able to pay bills. Who are their customers? Who buys from them? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then who buys from them? By the way, what happens to mankind? What happens to any society when people don't make money, don't have anything to lose, don't have a job, don't have a family? Who loses? Let me ask that question one more time. What happens to any society where people don't own homes, they don't have jobs, they're not having their dreams become a reality, they have nothing to lose? What does that society look like?
That's anarchy. If no one has anything to lose, you have the worst of human impulse, and you have
Who loses?
chaos.
Who loses?
Everyone.
You know who loses? The people of power.
Right.
That's who loses. So guess what? If they go in this direction where, you lose your customers, you lose your employees, you lose your consumer, you lose your buyer, what the hell are you producing? Who cares what you're producing? You heard the story about Amazon that came out, and they're shutting down their, 21, 23 cashierless stores in California.
Oh yeah, the what is the brand name they use for those stores?
It's
Like
not Whole
Amazon
Foods. Is it
Fresh.
Whole Foods, or is it, which one is it?
Amazon Fresh.
Amazon Fresh, right? Is this the one that they're closing? Rob, you want to play this clip?
Yes.
Go for it.
Why the change in strategy?
Yeah, closing and shuttering what was already a diminishing footprint, right? There are only 14 Go stores. We have one of them, or had one of them here in SF, and 58 Amazon Fresh stores. And as you point out, that real estate gets converted to Whole Foods. This is not Amazon saying that they are done with grocery. Far from it. It was interesting when those headlines hit. Clearly, there's an algo reaction, right? And Amazon pared some of its gain. It's now back up to a 0.6% gain. But Walmart took a leg lower, because the commitment from Amazon is very much to grocery in the context of same day, right? They've been focused very much on the online offering and doing those hourly deliveries and slots. But foot traffic's been falling away on these early locations. I don't know if you guys have ever been
Video
into
stops,
an
by the
Amazon
way,
Go,
just so you guys
but
know.
it's
Audio
the
continues,
humanless
but the video stops.
facility.
Robbie, if you want to pause it. So, the question then becomes, you're saying, the fears. What are they afraid of? I need to go read this article. Why would you be afraid of what's going to be taking place? Tom, Amazon's move that they're going to, okay, and they're bringing it back to Whole Foods. How much patterns are you noticing of companies realizing, even with, let's just say AI gets so good that you can tell it to create videos and teach XYZ content on videos. You saw what YouTube said. YouTube said, we're not paying you monetization if it's not a human person. July 15th of last year, I think YouTube came out with a new rule that if it's not a human being creating the content, all the, I don't know what word they use, the faceless content that you're creating, we're not paying you AdSense. We want people creating content. More and more companies are going to go to, hey, we kind of need people. We kind of want people. We kind of need you guys to also have jobs. Can we pay you? I actually think this AI thing is going to go this way, and then it's going to go that way. It's going to be like, no, our differentiator is when you come to our store, we have people. We have human beings. You will not be talking to robots. I think people are going to go that route. This is a different story about Amazon, though, Tom, if you want to give us an update on this story.
Amazon, as the analyst said very, very correctly, Amazon is like giving up on groceries. They have Whole Foods and they have that. And more importantly, if you go into Whole Foods, the locker space has doubled over the last 18 months. And that's the lockers, those Amazon lockers that are on one side of where when we were all growing up, that's where the 50-pound bags of dog food would be stacked up along with charcoal in bags. Well, now you have these lockers where you go up there and you open it, and that's where your Amazon delivery was in one of those lockers. So Whole Foods is alive and well and being well used and exploited by Amazon. They tried to make these Amazon Fresh ghost stores so they could save on labor because grocery has a very, very tight margin in the first place. Hey, we'll make convenient grocery stores. You walk in with your phone. We'll see that it's your phone, and you can Apple Pay walking out, and it'll just beep. Well, then there were the people with a hoodie and a baseball cap and dark glasses that had no phone on them because they knew the game and walked up, took 5 things and walked out. Boy, this is easy. So there was shrinkage. So basically Amazon couldn't make this thing work. They couldn't make Amazon Fresh and the ghost store work. So they're closing it and putting all their effort and grocery back into Whole Foods. That's what happened. And so it found out that, human security guards or human people checking out were really helpful to curb shoplifting. Versus a guy walks in, I'll have 2 Red Bulls and that sandwich and walk out.
I think
we'll scan his phone. They deliberately didn't have phones in their pockets.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think the more AI accelerates, the more these big AI companies are going to sit there saying, we need people. I think that's what's going to happen. By the way, you were one of the first guys that build a online university. You have 1,000 business owners that have their stuff with you at Lightspeed, and you got millions of customers, right? Millions of clients that use your technology. What have you seen over the years when you first started, and then seeing other guys that are going ahead of AI? What have you done to compete with how fast AI is growing?
Well, we leverage it. We drop it into the technology, so the knowledge is more quickly created, delivered, tracked, and measured. So again, I think before the knowledge was the key. Well, now for $20, I have a doctor in my pocket, a nutritionist, a lawyer. So knowledge is getting commoditized. You're going to have to understand, at least we do, that training is all about good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. And before, people were paying for content. Now content is very inexpensive. And that's a good thing for us. I think it's a good thing for human beings. Why? Well, because now you're just a choice away from becoming more relevant, more successful, and more, at the end of the day, it's a good thing to me. I am not afraid of AI. I can't understand the dangers in it so far. But if everyone's out of work, Patrick, don't you think they would just start giving out a basic income?
Oh, I think that's terrible.
That's the plan.
I think that's terrible because when a group of people, majority, don't have something they're in pursuit of, and you give them income, that's a horrible society. That's a horrible society. Problems will happen. People with time on their hands will start doing horrible things. it'll be catastrophic. That's not a society you want to live in. If people don't have something to do that they're in pursuit of, I do not want to live in that society. I don't want to live in that society. I want to be around other people where you're going after something, you're going after something, you're going after something. Great. Collectively, we have to make sure the city's going to be safe. We have to make sure collectively, oh, you know what? Send us more money. Send us more food. Send us free this. That is a scary, scary society. And by the way, it's been tested. It's not like UBI's never been tested. Alaska tested it for a minute. Many countries have tested UBI. When Andrew Yang suggested this, I don't know which election it was when he brought this up. Was it 15, 16, or was it? No, I don't think it was 2020 with Biden. I think it was, was it 15, 16, or was it previous to that? Maybe it was 15, 16. Something like that. It was 2020? Okay.
Oh, sure.
It was 2020. So when he introduced this $1,000 a month thing, it was like, yeah, it's a good idea. And it was like a Milton Friedman negative income tax. What did Milton Friedman call it, Rob? Can you type in Milton Friedman negative income tax that he proposed years ago? Negative income tax in his 1962 book, Capitalism and Freedom. People with incomes below a specific level receive supplemental payments, negative taxes from the government, while those above it pay positive taxes. Work incentive, unlike traditional welfare that often reduces benefits dollar for dollar, the negative income tax reduces benefits by only a fraction for every dollar earned. So encouraging recipients to find employment. I think we got to keep the society involved. I think we do. Too much time on your hands is not a good thing.
People should start focusing on things that are done with labor, your hands. Because again, I don't see AI replacing your toilet or rewiring
Plumbing,
your building.
Yeah.
So I think blue collar is going to become white collar. White collar is going to start working for the blue collar. So either own the business or get good with your hands.
Folks, once a year, we host an event called the Sales Leadership Summit. That event is coming up in the next 2 months. It'll be in South Florida at Trump Doral. And it's for those of you that run a business, because sales is king. Most people don't understand the power of developing sales leaders that develop sales people. This video will break down what's happening at SLS, and hopefully those of you guys that are doing $1 million plus, you'll get a chance to get a ticket for yourself. Go ahead, Rob, play the clip. So many years ago, I realized the size of your income, your net worth, your lifestyle is a pure reflection of the size of problems you solve. So for me, going back 20-some years ago, I was a good salesperson. I learned how to sell. I knew if I ran 3-4 appointments a day, I could sell 2, 4, 6, maybe 8 insurance policies on a given day. Then I asked myself, how do I sell 50 in a day? How do I sell 100 in a day? There's no way I can do it by myself. I had to solve a big problem and go from being a salesperson to being a sales leader. By the way, it is very different being a salesperson than being a sales leader. That's a massive problem to try to solve. What happened later on? I went from selling 2 to 3 policies a day personally to eventually we sold 1 million insurance policies with our company, and we sold that company for $250 million. 3 years ago, licensing 60,000 insurance agents. We solved a massive problem, got paid massively. Let me bring it back to you. In America today, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we have 13.4 million salespeople in America that go out selling every day working for commission. We have 132,000 VP of sales, according to LinkedIn, and we have roughly 8,000 chief sales officers in America. Now, when it comes down to putting the hat on of being a sales leader, it's a very different accountability, tough conversations, challenging, transferring your knowledge on how to get referrals, how to follow up on leads, how to properly follow up where you don't offend the person, the script you use when you DM versus when you email, which is when you make a phone call, how to give better presentations, the types of phone calls to make, the types of contests to run, how to hold them accountable and drive them and not upset them and they still want to come. How do you steer competition? All of this are things companies that solve big problems that become multi-billion-dollar companies do. So once a year, I host a conference called a Sales Leadership Summit. This happens once a year. To attend this, you need to do a minimum of $1 million a year and have 5 salespeople that report to you. If you want to join us at this year's Sales Leadership Summit, that happens end of March, we'll go through a 200-page manual together on how to go through A through Z of being a great sales leader. Click on a link below, fill out the information. One of our representatives from the David Consulting will reach out to you and tell you more about the Sales Leadership Summit. Rob, what is the website to go to this? Do we have it in the link?
We do. It's in the description. It's also in pinned to the chat. But
Can you click on a link just to see what it looks like so everybody sees it? So go, if that's you, click on a link. We'll spend 2 days together at Trump Doral, and we go through A through Z, and it's a great place to network with other performers that are also doing well. There you have it. So what's the website called, Rob?
sls.betdavidconsulting.com.
Beautiful. All right, fantastic. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.